Joe DeMarco, chiropractor and owner of OcraMed Health. We're doing another episode today of questions and answers with Dr. Joe. We basically take 3 questions that were submitted over the past week, and I'll do the best I can to answer them, okay? So first up is from a viewer named Random Name. And Random Name asked me, he's referring to a video on our core test that we put up last week on testing your core strength. He says, Dr. Joe, are there any rest periods between exercises, or do you just go immediately into the next exercise? Okay, so great question. On that core test, it's you're not rushing through those exercises. Those are the exercises. We had a score sheet on how many repetitions or how long you're holding those movements. After you do one, you can rest up before you go to the next exercise. So if you need to take 2 or 3 minutes from going from, say, for example, from the plank movement to a side plank, take your time. It's not a speed test. It's just seeing how long you can either hold certain core positions or how many reps you can get on certain exercises that we placed on that video, okay? So I hope that answers your question. And for all of you who haven't tried that video, I'll put the link up right here, the card up. Check out that video and take the core test. All right, next up, we have a question from Michael Ville. He's referring to the video on fixing proximal hamstring tendinopathy. He says, hey doc, do I know when my pain in the hamstring is fully healed so I would go back and start running again? So how do you know when your upper hamstring injury is healed? That's a great question. First off, a big problem with an upper hamstring tendinopathy is when you go to try to stretch, which is the first thing people usually try to do with it, it hurts. And that's why on the video we talk about not doing any stretching. So here's some indications that the injury is healed. One is you should be able to go back to regular stretching without any discomfort in the area. The second thing is if you get in there and you're applying firm pressure to the upper hamstring area, either with your thumb or using a massage ball, it should no longer be tender. So the tenderness should no longer be there, and that's a great indication. And then once you get to that point where you don't have any point tenderness, you can start stretching again. Then you have to slowly work back in, because a common mistake that people make on that injury is they jump back into their activity too quickly. They start sprinting, they start deadlifting, and they just go into it too quickly. So what I recommend is, one is if you're a running athlete, is start by spending the next week, the first week back, do a little walk run, walk a little bit, run a little bit, walk a bit, little bit, run a bit, and then see how you feel the next day. And if it feels good, then do another walk run, but do a little more running and a little less walking, and slowly build up in that way. If you're a strength athlete and you're going back into the gym and you're going to some exercises that had previously aggravated, then very, very careful. Very, very lightweight, high repetition. So say if deadlifts was aggravating your high hamstring tendinopathy, the first day back, don't go back up to 60, 70, even 80% of your 1 rep max on, way low. Just get in there, use the bar, put very little weight on it, do some sets, and see how it feels, and more importantly, how it feels the next day. Is it really sore again up there the next day? If it is, you got to back off. It's not fully healed. So that's how I usually go about telling my patients to as far as getting back into activity, is we want to have no pain to the touch. We want to be able to stretch with no pain. But the important thing is when you go back to your activity, like I said, if you're a running athlete or if you are a strength athlete, you have to ease back in. That's the number one thing that re-injures this thing, is people jump back too quickly. Okay, I hope that helps. All right, last question that we have up is we have a question from Destai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He says, hi, thank you for making this video. I'm suffering from golfer's elbow for about 1 year. Will this work for me and having a chance for me to recover to normal? Thank you, and looking forward to your reply. So this is referencing, once again, I'll put the card up, a video that we did on golfer's elbow. Golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, I see people suffering for well over a year, sometimes 2 years before they even come into my office for treatment. A lot of times people just think it's going to get better, and that's what happens. It feels a little better. They go back to their activity, it gets worse. They rested, they go back to their activity, it gets worse, and it's just this roller coaster of a ride of an injury. It's just awful sometimes. And so if you're currently suffering with, you said it's been a year since that you've been dealing with this, the key thing here is, yes, it can heal, it can go back to normal, but you have to do a couple things. One is you absolutely have to avoid all activities that aggravate it. Now, golfer's elbow, like I said, I'll put the card up, is when the pain is on the inside of the elbow as opposed to tennis elbow, which is on the outside. You have to avoid, and this goes for tennis elbow also, you have to avoid all the activities that aggravate it. And you have to just avoid them for however long it takes. So you may be able to do certain things in the gym and certain activities, but the ones that you know specifically aggravate the injury, you just skip them for now. That's number one. That's important. The second thing is you have to be consistent on working on it. Sometimes people watch that golfer's elbow video and they try the techniques for a couple times, or even they may go to therapy and they go to therapy for a couple sessions and then it doesn't feel any better and they stop. You got to give it time. These things are chronic inflammation type of injuries, and they take time to heal. There's usually a lot of fascial adhesions that need to be broken up, and fascial adhesions break down like peeling layers off of an onion, just little layers at a time. So you have to really, be patient and be consistent with your treatment, and then avoid the injuries. And when you, just like on the other, when we're talking about the hamstring injury, when it's time to go back because it's feeling better, you have to ease back into your activities. You don't want to jump back too quickly or you will re-injure it, okay? I hope that helps. I hope you enjoyed the answers to those questions. Send in your comments, send in your emails to drjoe@OcraMedHealth.com. I'll be more than happy I answer everyone the best I can anyways, but I'm trying to every week pick 3 questions to go over for one of these videos. When you have a chance, visit my website, www.OcraMedHealth.com. We have our new website going up real soon with some private content, a private forum. It's going to be a lot of fun, so check that out when you have some time. And if you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to my channel, OcraMed Health on YouTube. Questions about exercises or injuries, just leave a comment in the comment section below. Maybe your comment will be picked for next week's Q&A video. And don't forget, OcraMed Health is here to keep you fit forever.